overall grip is up, and I'm sure the racing quality will be up as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in here this evening to the NASCAR All-Star Race Open. The NASCAR All-Star Race will be coming up in a few hours from now. But of course, we have to see who will race their way in over the next 100 laps. 250 lap segments in this Open, and only the top 2 drivers of these 20 will qualify for the All-Star Race. Already 17 drivers are locked into the All-Star Race later tonight. Last 10 seasons, so if you've won a NASCAR Cup title within the last 10 seasons, or sorry, not a Cup title, a NASCAR All-Star Race within the last 10 seasons, you're automatically locked into the All-Star Race as well, as long as you're a full-time participant. That is why Kevin Harvick, despite practicing and qualifying Kyle Larson's car this weekend, is not locked into the All-Star Race if Larson were to not show up for the main event here tonight. But as far as this one goes, we have a lot of heavy hitters in this Open. It's a very stacked field here today. Got a lot of the top teams that are running up at the front of the field. We've had quite a few playoff drivers within the last several seasons that are also in this field here today. They just haven't gotten a race win in the last calendar season or so. As far as the starting lineup for these 20 drivers, this is what it looks like. You got Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman on the front row after qualifying was washed out Friday night. 17 drivers got their 2 qualifying laps in, but 3 did not due to rain. As a result of that, with not everybody making a lap of qualifying, they had to go to the points format to start the field for this race. Now, qualifying for the main event for the All-Star Race did get in. The heat races did not. So the qualifying order from yesterday morning is the makeup for the 17 starting spots for tonight's race. The last 3 would be obviously the top 2 from this race, as well as the fan vote. Of course, if you don't race your way in, you can get voted in by the fans. I'm not sure exactly when the voting poll closes. I think it has closed already, if I'm not mistaken. And NASCAR knows at least who the All-Star voter is, but nobody else does at this moment. We'll find out, obviously, when the 100 laps are in, because if that driver ends up racing their way in, then the fan vote would go to the next highest vote getter. So we don't know exactly, again, who those drivers are going to be. And there's actually multiple drivers who have won the fan vote over the last couple seasons that are in this race. Bubba Wallace has won the fan vote before. Noah Gragson has won the fan vote before. They're both in this race. I think Austin Dillon might have even won the fan vote before. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So there is drivers. Corey LaJoie, I know for a fact, has won the fan vote one season in recent years as well. So there's a lot of drivers who have won the fan vote in this. It's not a guaranteed lock for any single one of them. And, of course, you got the drivers up at the front of the field who I think can not only contend for a win here in the Open, but maybe even contend for a win in the All-Star Race. Again, let's go through the starting lineup, though, before we get further into detail with this one, as cars are approaching the racetrack already right now, getting set for the start. Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman are on the front row for this one. Gibbs still looking for his first career win, but maybe an exhibition win and an extra, almost said $100,000, an extra $1 million for the race win in the All-Star Race later tonight. Alex Bowman was not in the playoffs a season ago. Remember, missed a few races due to injury, and as a result, never got a win last season, so that's why he is in the Open. Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace are both former playoff drivers last year. Bubba Wallace made the playoffs 2 seasons ago for Chase Briscoe. Noah Gragson, who won the fan vote a season ago, is in the Open once again, this time for SHR. He'll be on the inside of row 3. And we got a former Daytona 500 winner from 2022, Austin Cindric, in the field as well. Josh Berry and Todd Gilliland will line up in row 4. Berry won the Open at North Wilkesboro last year in the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports. He replaced Alex Bowman for this race. John Hunter Nemechek and Carson Hocevar will line up in row number 5. Hocevar's first potential All-Star start tonight. Eric Jones and Ryan Preece will line up in row number 6. We know Jones has gotten into the All-Star race. 3 career Cup wins for him. Corey LaJoie and Daniel Hemrick will line up in row 7. Austin Dillon, another former Daytona 500 champion in this field, will be on the inside of row 8, with Justin Haley to his outside. Haley with 1 career Cup win as well. Harrison Burton and Kaz Gralla will line up in row number 9, and rounding out the field in row 10 will be Zane Smith and Timmy Hill. So again, that is the starting lineup for this race. And only the top 2 are going to qualify for the main event later tonight. That will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time later this evening for that event as well. For more late-breaking updates on the open field, here is the FS1 booth. Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and Mike Joy are in the booth, of course, for this one. And again, you can watch visually on Fox Sports 1.
Jamie speaking to Noah Gregson, who's starting fifth. His crew chief Drew Blankensurfer right before they climbed into the car. Something he pointed out: a lot of what's going to happen with tires when they put those red soft tires on, and what's going to take place with the cars. But he said also, let's think about the racetrack. Everybody in force right now, starting on the yellow tires, or the primary tires. If they do that, he said this track is going to change a lot when those soft tires go on the race cars. If they do, so something more these crew chiefs are going to have to think about as this plays out. Three of the first the grid have raced their way into the All-Star race before. It's the second year here for the All-Star. 1947, this track opened. First Cup race was in 1949. Bob Flock was the winner. Boy, Junior Johnson was good here. And so were his race cars. Twice a year we raced here. Richard Petty piled up 15 victories. Darrell Waltrip there with Junior Johnson. 10. Wow, look at that. Cool pick. Jeff Thornton, the last winner here. And of course, Kyle Larson won last year's All-Star race. You know, a lot of homegrown companies were here, like Holly Barnes, which is now part of Tyson, so they have the scoreboard. Window World headquartered here. Lowe's was started here in North Wilkesboro. Were here for many, many years, and they were a part of the Speedway as well. So a lot of locals on hand. Athletes all over to see this NASCAR All-Star Night.
Well, I'm excited, Mike, because I have not been over here on this side of the fence. And when you look down from this booth into this racetrack, Clint, you said it yesterday, everything down there looks new, looks perfect, but it's got that nostalgia and everything to go with what North Wilkesboro is. So I'm excited. This is going to be totally different than the
Pace car is in. We're about to go green for the start of the All-Star Open. 100 laps to decide who will be the final two drivers to race their way in. And of course, the fan vote to be the third extra driver in the race following that. Green flag is in the air. Ty Gibbs leads them to the first turn. And he is going to come out of turn 2 easily with the lead on top of Alex Bowman. Chase Briscoe went a little wide on turn 1. He was on the inside of road 3. And a couple cars getting together nearly into the wall on the opening lap of the race. That was Ryan Preece, and it looked like Eric Jones going a bit wide. Actually, it was not Jones, it was the other legacy car. John Hunter Nemechek was the one who made contact with Ryan Preece. Austin Dillon, who had a fast car in qualifying before the rainout, was at the top of the speed charts, but as an inversion of the field, he had to start 15th for the race today. Currently right around there as he still battles for position with Daniel Hemrick in the 31, his former teammate. Ty Gibbs leads the opening 2 laps of the race, and Bubba Wallace was able to get into the second place position around Bowman on the initial start. Austin Cindric got by Chase Briscoe for 4th after Briscoe went wide into turn 1 as well. 100 laps at North Wilkesboro Speedway is not a long time, but again, a competition caution / segment end at lap 50, so we are guaranteed at least one caution. And these teams do not have to use each primary and the soft tire. In the All-Star race, it is mandatory you have to use one set of each, but not in the Open. Everybody's starting off on the soft tires, at least for the Open, from what we know. Alex Bowman under duress from Austin Cindric in the 2. They run side by side for position. Cindric underneath him and looking to make the pass for 3rd. Cindric close, not able to get in. Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs raced their way in through the Open last season. Both drivers in the Open here today. Berry won the race. Gibbs got the second spot despite leading the most laps and was barely able to hang on for the final transfer. Today, Gibbs starts out in front and is quickly off to a great start. He's already 1.2 seconds ahead of his fellow Toyota driver Bubba Wallace in the second place position. 1.8 seconds off the lead of Cindric after just taking over 3rd. Alex Bowman 2.1 seconds back at 4th, and Noah Gregson rounds out the top 5. He's 2.5 seconds off the lead. 8 laps already in the books. Carson Hocevar and Noah Gregson battling side by side as well. This is a battle for 6th on the racetrack. Hocevar already up 3 positions in the first 9 laps of the race and looking for a 4th. Lot of racing still to go here in this one. Lap 10 this time by for Gibbs.
So I think this racetrack is going to change, and it's when they put those softer tires on, if they do it at the halfway mark here, that's when the racetrack got really, really fast. So these tires will continue to get faster as you run. How many laps have we run?
Exactly what you say. Exactly what you just said, Kevin. We're talking 9 laps, and some of them through Cindric, Bowman, all those guys. That was their fastest lap last time by.
So that's what's going to be the interesting part as we run. When we put those soft tires on, where do these primary tires and those soft tires cross? But these cars are going to continue to get better and better. But that's why you want to run it free, because as those tires get more grip and you can rip the center of the corner and release that brake, you're gonna make that speed.
There will be a caution at or around lap 50. They call it an all-star caution. And Timmy Hill on pit road. Tough break for the one non-charter car in this race. The Port Tobacco, Maryland driver had run at the back of the field, and now they're going to lift the hood up. Looks like his day is done. Gilliland outside Nemechek. Now Nemechek got bounced around on the first couple of laps, fell back to about 15th. He has now worked his way up to 8th place.
One difficult part about what we did on Friday during practice is going to be what's happening right now. You see some of these cars, a little bit of a handful, probably not balanced like they were, because when we ended practice, most of the field, the whole field was out there together, running a lot of laps on those soft tires. And you had this really grippy sensation if you went back on your primary tires while those guys were out there running around on these soft tires. So definitely going to be some balance issues probably to start this race, as you see this here. Wow.
It's one of the cars that's surprising me right now. Running up front, we expected Ty Gibbs. Kevin, you talked about it at the first of the show. We talked about him being fast. We kind of looked and saw that speed out of him in practice. Bubba Wallace the same way. Austin Cindric, this is a surprise for me. Holding steady here. We get a caution, another adjustment on this car. Maybe he could knock one of those guys out. All right, so these lap times are still getting faster, Larry. I see a lot of these left rears and stuff way down on air. You see they're squatting right there in your shot. Is that air pressure or the rubber getting put down? Yeah, I would say it's the rubber getting put down, but when they put those reds on there, those soft, they're running at 18, mid to 18s right now. It'll probably go down to the 18-0s, 18 teens. Wow. Jamie?
It's talking about synergy positions already. Sonny's ever had a race in the open. Daytona 500 in his rookie year in 22. He was in the All-Star race automatically the last 2 seasons. And they're really happy with the race car. Started off strong on about lap 15. Said he's starting to get a little bit tight, but not too bad.
Battle here for 12th place, Austin Dillon. Coming up from 15th on the grid after having the fastest qualifying time in that abbreviated session. Yeah, that was a bummer for him. Those guys were going to be on the pole of this and didn't get to, 2 more cars to go. We didn't quite get them done before the rain hit. Knocked him back and when it reverted at once. That moves LaJoy back to 13. 19 laps complete. In the open, publicly lap 50. Sounds like a boy's going to start 5th at the Indianapolis 500. Pretty cool. Made the top 12, made the top 6, and ends up 5th. That's amazing. I'll keep you in suspense as to who won the poll, because I know some of you record it and watch it later. But it's important to this race because now Kyle Larson is done at Indianapolis. He will make his way to the airport there, fly to the North Wilkesboro airport, and helicopter to the racetrack, and should be here in time to climb into the number 5 for the All-Star race tonight. That's not going to be good for these boys. Handful of confidence, smile on his face, rolling in here. Kevin Harvick's, well, I mean, hold on a minute.
Hopefully
they're not Charles. It'll be just fine.
Yeah, the one thing I'm watching as I watch Ty Gibbs just continue to make fast lap after fast lap is he just comes off the corner a little bit lower, as we see Josh Berry and John Hunter Nemechek battling right here.
Yeah. Berry caught him pretty easily, but that's that bump off before. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see that bump is and the lower you get, the harder that bump rocks the car around.
Yeah, I noticed that in practice the other night.
Accident is another. It should be easier today. You don't have any time. No apologies.
The back of that 4 car is bouncing around. I did not experience a bounce like that yesterday. My car went Kyle Larson's car went through that bump pretty well, but that car is bouncing. Looks like it's bouncing off the limiter. Watch this left rear as he comes up off the corner right here.
He moved up that time on purpose to try to go around it.
Ooh, man, that right rear bounces hard.
Remember last year, Ty Gibbs led 53 laps this race
Leaning on him.
and transferred by finishing second to the driver who's now in the number 4. That's Barrett. That's going to be a textbook move for tonight, right, Kevin? No time.
Well, especially in these cars, there's really no penalty, right? The right sides are pretty tough. You're able to be pretty aggressive. Watch this. See that left front right there? Oh my goodness!
As soon as that left rear hit it, I'd call that hospital hop. Smith owns the racetrack, and Steve Swift, who has helped build and prepare it yesterday, that they used a proprietary paving technology so that the new pavement at Wilkesboro would retain all of the characteristics of the racetrack before the repave. And the other thing that I liked they did was didn't take character out of it like that. Like that bump, there's a bump getting into 3 as well. They left those in there purposely to keep the character in this racetrack.
And the other thing that they did, to add another layer to that, the aggregate that they used is much bigger. It had the pores are much more open, so they're open for tire wear and, as this.
All right, so Ty Gibbs still currently leads by 1.9 seconds over Bubba Wallace. He's extended that about 0.6 of a second or so over the last 20 laps. Austin Cindric is in the third place position, 3.6 seconds off the lead. Alex Bowman, 4.1 seconds back in fourth. Chase Briscoe in fifth, 5.5 seconds off the lead. Carson Hocevar up to sixth place, 6.2 seconds off the lead. Noah Gragson, 6.6 seconds back in seventh. Josh Berry, 7.1 seconds back in eighth. John Hunter Nemechek, 8.6 seconds back in ninth. And Todd Gilliland rounds out the top 10. He's 9 seconds off the race lead. Gibbs has led all 32 laps of the Open so far and still caution-free in this one as he has not caught lap traffic. One car out of the race so far is Timmy Hill. Actually pulled off the racetrack. Initially, he's still on the track, but 7 laps down, still making laps. So he was on pit road for a lengthy period of time, back out on the track now. And Daniel Hemrick actually did go a lap down, so excuse me on that about no lap traffic. But the next lap car up ahead of race leader Ty Gibbs is still at least a few seconds ahead of him, with the field running about 18.7s to 18.9s right now. And he has Harrison Burton in 18th as the last car in the lead lap in front of him. Burton is 13.3 seconds off the lead. So I'm not sure that he's going to get to Burton before we end up getting to the lap 50 caution. Of course, with only half the field in both the Open and the All-Star race tonight compared to what we would usually see on a NASCAR Cup race day, you're probably not going to see any lap traffic throughout the races here this evening. Maybe in the final stage, considering that's 100 laps if we went caution-free in the first stage, but that would probably be about it for any lap traffic here today, but definitely not in the Open with 250-lap stints. We're 15 laps away from that first caution unless we get an incident before that. And Gibbs still managing a 1.8 second lead again over Bubba Wallace. Wallace in that final transfer position, though. You don't have to just win the race. The top 2 advance. And right now, Wallace has 2.1 seconds back to Austin Cindric. So that means Ty Gibbs 4 seconds ahead of the first driver out of that cut line. See, if teams don't have to switch tires in the Open, I almost wonder if you should even take tires to be... Well, I guess they're non-competitive pit stops. If they're not competitive pit stops, you might as well take 4 tires. But if there are competitive pit stops in this race, then I would probably just stay out on the track and keep the track position if you're Gibbs and Wallace, considering there is no fall-off. Maybe a couple tenths at the very most. Fastest lap for a lot of these drivers at the very front of the field was about lap 13, 14. And then Josh Berry's fastest lap in 8th place is at lap 28. But the difference in that most recent lap they just ran in their fastest laps of the day is only about 2 to 3 tenths of a second. So maybe there's something there as far as fall off, but again, it isn't much. Haven't noticed any position changes over the last several laps, at least. Actually, never mind on that. Austin Dillon's just moved into the top 10 on Todd Gilliland. That is the only change of position over the last 5 to 10 laps, at least in the top 10. And again, still 18 cars on the lead lap, and Daniel Hemrick can get the free pass, of course, with the caution in 8 laps, as long as Harrison Burton and Zane Smith and some of the tail end of the lead lap cars don't go a lap down. Austin Dillon has now caught John Hunter Nemechek. They battle for 9th place. Nemechek was as high as 8th. We got passed by Barry about 15 laps ago, and now Austin Dillon trying to get around him as well. If Dillon is able to make the pass, he'll be up 6 positions from his initial start of the race. On the inside lane is Dillon. Outside of him is Nemechek, still side by side. Up the racetrack goes both cars. Dillon lost a little bit of time through turns 1 and 2. Great corner by Nemechek to hold on. And again, another dive down to the bottom of the track for Dillon in 3 and 4. And both of these two are slowly catching up on Josh Berry just ahead of him. Austin Dillon was able to clear Nemechek. No, Nemechek was able to hold on. Never mind. My bad on that one. 5 laps away from the caution. 2-second lead now for Gibbs. Still just over a 2-second gap between Wallace and Cindric as well. A relatively calm first half of the All-Star Open at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And it is a mandatory 4-tire stop at that caution, so I guess they do have to change tires. Once every car in the lead lap gets to the end of lap 50, that is when the caution will wave, I'd assume, which is at least the same procedure they would use for competition cautions if they ever had those during points paying events. But we have made it to lap 50 and the caution flag is out. Lap 51 technically right now, and the caution's out. So 50 laps down, 50 laps still to go in the All-Star Open. And again, your full field running order through these first 50 laps has Ty Gibbs in the lead, Bubba Wallace second, Austin Cindric third, Alex Bowman fourth, Chase Briscoe rounding out the top 5 and 5th. Carson Hocevar is 6th, Noah Gragson 7th, Josh Berry 8th, John Hunter Nemechek 9th, and Austin Dillon 10th. Todd Gilliland in 11th, Ryan Preece 12th, Corey LaJoie 13th, Justin Haley 14th, Kaz Gralla 15th, Eric Jones 16th, 17th is Zane Smith, Harrison Burton 18th is the last car in the lead lap, at least for now, and then 19th is Daniel Hemrick, he'll be getting the free pass, and Timmy Hill is still on the racetrack, but 7 laps down in 20th. And Gibbs, again, has led every lap. Caution laps do count this weekend. Some years in the All-Star race, they don't count. Some years they do. All caution laps count for this year's All-Star Open and All-Star race later tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning into the stream here in the early going. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Our goal is going to be to get to 50 likes on this stream, and as of right now, we are at 42 already, so appreciate that. Again, hit that like button. Kelly Jones, Bond 1771, Tim Crawford, Ice Demon King 92, Hammer, Dan Bowers, Frank Bowers, Arnold Jr., Bronny 24 Forever, Billy Kramer, and many others. Welcome into the stream, everybody. You can vote for who you think is going to potentially qualify for the Open. I didn't know how to do this because 2 drivers advanced, so I just put a combination of 2 drivers in there, and it looks like the poll's relatively even. I asked you, of the combination of drivers, there's 4 separate ones. You can vote between which of those is most likely to make the All-Star race in your opinion. Ty Gibbs, Justin Haley as one of the voting options is leading the poll at 38% of the 48 votes. Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe getting 21% of the votes, 29% for Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman. Austin Dillon, Noah Gragson getting 12%. We'll leave that open until they get back to racing here. Once we start segment number 2, then we will close that poll. But the mandatory 4-tire pit stop is upcoming. And you'll get to listen into the pit reports.
Shoot. Well, the top 4 cars all have reds on. Left, front, and right. But, folks. Did they offer a green one? You'll be coming back to pit road because you had to change all 4, and it has to be the same all the way around.
How'd they do that?
The speeding police have nabbed Gorilla Joe.
Did we miss pit stops?
In both the put the yellow primaries on, the 7 and 2. Now they're going to be at the back on a primary harder tire. Okay. As Larry's pointed out, you must change all 4 tires must be the same color sidewalls. Either the primary tire in yellow or the optional soft tire in red. We'll sort this out in a minute.
I think we missed pit stops during the commercial break because it sounds like they have changed tires during the break. Again, Bubba Wallace, who was in the 2nd place position at the time of the caution at lap 50, is no longer going to be in 2nd. He's going to have to change his tires so they're all the same color. I don't know how they did that. They explained in practice. And I also heard, I think at some point last week during the race, they were talking about, obviously, the tires that were going to be at the North Wilkesboro All-Star Race, just kind of hinting at what was going to come this weekend, and that was during Darlington. I can specifically remember Larry McReynolds stating on multiple occasions that you have to have the same set of tires. You can't have the red and the yellow tires mixed. They have to be one or the other, all 4 the same. And apparently Bubba Wallace's pit crew messed that up. We know that Bubba Wallace, or not even just him, 2311, because Reddick's pit crew has been terrible this season too. 2311's pit crew is notoriously bad. This is a new low, I think. How does this happen? And you take a guy that has been running top 2 the whole time, was in a transfer position, and now he's going to be at the tail end of the field with less than 50 laps to go. I mean, this is not good for any Bubba Wallace fans out there hoping that he races his way in. Now you just got to hope that you have enough votes for him that he can get voted into the All-Star race at this point, because it's going to be very, very difficult, again, to get in. We'll take an ad break and then continue our live commentary coverage of the NASCAR All-Star Race Open at North Wilkesboro.
There it is. The tape's what's causing it. Yellow tape, green tape on the red tire. On the left front. It covered that when it was red, it covered it and made it look as if it was almost yellow on the front. I think it's what Larry saw. Larry, that's not fair. It may be legal, but it's not fair.
Well, never mind. They didn't mess it up. It sounds like the tape was making it look like the color was different. That was I was going to say that would have been a catastrophic mistake for Wallace. Sorry for any false information there. I was only getting that information from Fox, so. Green flag back in the air, and we're back to racing again at North Wilkesboro. Side by side for the lead, and 3 wide back for about the 6th place position on the restart. Bowman hanging in there with Ty Gibbs for right now, and that 3 wide battle goes on between Carson Hocevar. In trouble. Austin Cindric's around on the front stretch after contact with Noah Gragson and Carson Hocevar. He was in the middle of that 3 wide battle. It was just about to state what had happened there. And he is circling all the way back around. I do not think Cindric is very happy with what just happened.
It's 3 wide. Yeah, but got squeezed.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he squeezed him all the way up, but it was.
Oh, yeah. Lost 3 spots on pit road. What happened? Put him back there.
Ouch. So 3 wide on the restart for about the entire first lap, and then coming back to the start-finish line, Hocevar gets into the 2 of Cindric. Cindric squeezes the 10 of Gragson into the wall, and around goes Cindric on the front stretch. Heavy damage to the right front of his race car, and as well as the fact that obviously he's going to lose a ton of track position here as a result. Hocevar continues onward, and obviously Noah Gragson, who got a piece of the wall, we'll have to see if he ends up pitting as well. I would imagine they're just going to keep him out. You got nothing to lose at this point, and you definitely don't want to lose your track position at all costs. 60 down, 40 to go in the All-Star Race Open. This is our first incidental caution of the Open. Of course, the mandatory yellow at lap 50 had already been had, and Timmy Hill will get the free pass, getting one of his 7 laps back, as the remaining cars will stay on the lead lap. Gibbs has still led them all so far. Alex Bowman is now the new driver in second. But knowing that there is at least one more restart upcoming here with this caution, we'll see if they can hold on. And we did get our goal of 50 likes on the stream already. We're at 51, so appreciate that, everybody. And we will close this poll that is open right now in the chat for who you think will make the All-Star race by racing their way in through the Open. Again, 39% of you voted for the option of Ty Gibbs and Justin Haley. I would assume most of those are because Gibbs is in there. But 29% have Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman. 20% saying Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, and Austin Dillon, Noah Gragson getting 10% of the votes. 58 votes were casted. Appreciate you guys that are tuning in that did vote in the poll. We will have a separate poll per usual in the actual All-Star race for who you think will win. We'll have the top 3 possible options, at least in my opinion, of who would win the race, as well as if you think somebody other than those 3 would end up winning. .38 to go, under caution.
So with the red ones are on the those with the black backgrounds are on the primary tire. We also had some wet weather tires floating away in 2 feet of water on pit road yesterday. Hopefully, thankfully, not needed to.
This is going to show, right? Those are the reds, these are the yellows, and the primary tires. But man, I've got my eye glued on this race for third, race for second, rather, with Bubba Wallace. Keep an eye on Noah Gragson. We know that those cars are part of that top 5 scenario of the fan vote. That's going to be so important. Bowman ahead of Bubba after this restart.
Well, you see Josh Berry give up a couple rows right there. Give up the whole road to start up on the outside. He had so much success on that last restart.
All right, let's get some Carson Hocevar radio about what happened there. Didn't realize they were 3 wide at the time. A lot of repair to the right front of Austin Cindric's car.
All right, here we go again. Another restart upcoming. 36 laps to go in the All-Star Open. Cindric still, unfortunately, on pit road, losing multiple laps under the yellow after running third for most of the day. Green flag back in the air. Again, the top 2 advance through the Open. Side by side for the lead on the restart between Alex Bowman and Ty Gibbs, and door-to-door for third right behind him is Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace. Outside lane prevailing off of turn 4, at least getting into the corner. It looked like that was going to be the case. Off the corner, Gibbs is clear at the start-finish line and dives down in front of Bowman back to the bottom of the racetrack. Bowman looking to the outside, side by side for second still, and Wallace is there on the outside of the 48. By side with Wallace for that position. Josh Berry floats it way deep on the outside lane, using all the racetrack necessary as he is trying to build up momentum to get by Chase Briscoe, who's still underneath him as well. A lot of door-to-door action. 2 by 2, about 3 rows deep, still about 3 laps following the restart. Gridlocked is Wallace and Bowman for that final transfer. Here, contact off of turn 2. Bowman lost a little bit of momentum, maybe having to lift on the back straightaway, but keeps enough up to at least stay to the left rear corner panel of Wallace for yet another straightaway. Josh Berry is nearly clear of Chase Briscoe again, and now he is clear for sure. And Josh Berry in fourth is building momentum and may try to potentially sneak to the outside of both the 23 and the 48 if necessary. We saw 3 wide not work out very well behind them, which caused the only incident of the race, and has resulted in Cindric now being 10 laps down and still off the racetrack. Cindric blocking, or I should say Briscoe rather, Chase Briscoe blocking heavily on Noah Gragson and Carson Hocevar just behind him as he tries to stay in fifth. Hocevar and Gragson are side by side for sixth. Bowman still on the inside of Bubba Wallace. They have been side by side every lap of this restart, and we are now 6 going on 7 laps following the redrop of the green flag. Ty Gibbs has opened up a 1.1 second lead over the 23 and the 48. Wallace pinching the 48 car down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying not to allow Bowman to get the drive off. Wallace nearly clear into turn 3 again, but Bowman sticks his nose underneath. He is driving it in deep, but he's also able to still get good exit speed to stay with the 23 car. Josh Berry is creeping in again, right in line behind both of them. Berry gives a push to the back of the 23 on the backstretch as he was right there. That might have hurt the corner entry up for the 23. The 48 slides his rear tires up off the exit of the corner. Berry is so close. He's just got nowhere to go. He's bounced in between them both. He's going to dive underneath both of them now. 3 wide. For second, Berry moves the 48 up the racetrack. And Berry is going to get to third. Bowman drops to the 4th place position. Can't get to the back bumper of the 4 car in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and now Briscoe is going to get to the inside of the 48 for 4th. Does Josh Berry have anything for Bubba Wallace now that Wallace is clear for 2nd and Berry is clear for 3rd? Briscoe was unable to make the pass on Bowman. Bowman is able to hold on for 4th and goes right back to the bottom of the racetrack. 25 laps to go in the All-Star Open. Josh Berry's doing a great job on that outside lane. Lap time, that last lap between him and Wallace, a 3/1000th of a second difference in lap time. Wallace was just faster. And now as they complete this lap, that last time by, Berry was about 200ths quicker than Wallace. That's how even those 2 cars are, the 4 and the 23. And Berry had obviously driven from much deeper in the field from his starting position than Wallace in this one today. Bubba started in 4th. Got the 2nd on that initial start. And outside of battling side by side for Bowman for quite some time, still remains where he's at. Justin Haley from out of nowhere was able to get by Bowman in recent laps and now is looking at making the pass on the 4 car of Josh Berry. Come on, Justin Haley in the Rick Ware Racing Ford. Trying to race his way in. Haley side by side. Thought he was going to have a shot to be able to clear off turn 4. He did not, and now instead it's Berry who's clear on the backstretch. What Wallace wants to see is that battle for 3rd intensify, and as of right now it is. Wallace is now at least about 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of Berry, working his way into turn 1, 19 laps to go in the All-Star Open. Gibbs is 2 seconds ahead of 2nd, and 2.5 seconds ahead of 3rd. Wallace in the final transfer spot in the 2nd place position, still doing well and still staying in that inside lane while Berry continues to run the top. Josh Berry doing all he can to try to stay up with that progressive banking. And a great job by Justin Haley, who was able to slip by all those cars battling for position in recent laps to get himself maybe into a shot to race his way in. Again, we do not know who gets the fan vote until after the race is concluded. We've seen a lot of crazy finishes in the NASCAR Open for the final transfer spot in recent years. Maybe we've got another one right here with how close this battle has been between the 23, the 4, and now the 51. Bowman has slipped back quite a bit. He still remains in 5th, and Chase Briscoe's fallen all the way to 7th, as he was in the mix on that restart as well. 15 to go.
See it, Mike, maybe 3.5 tenths. And pretty much everybody at the front is on red letter soft tire.
Here, downshift right there. Carson Hocevar.
For 8th. Just 18 on the lead lap with 13 to go. Kevin, one thing I believe we heard from practice was that with the soft tire, if you didn't run them hard the whole run and you backed off and let them cool a bit, they would come back.
I never really tried to employ that strategy. I just wanted to just run it as far as we could run it. We ran over 50 laps with our tires, and you know, the fall off was, I think it fell off to like 1910. Denny Hamlin was probably the best. He fell off to, you know, high 1890s, which is, they aren't there yet. And so it was, it's just a different feeling. The car definitely had more grip as you went on these red soft tires. Larry?
If you're talking about this downshifting, we've been monitoring the top 10, and right now the only two shifting is the 14 car, Chase Briscoe, at 7th. Hocevar in the 77 is back there at 9th. They're going between 3rd and 4th gear. Good to go. And Ty Gibbs apparently has quite a date with history. He finished 2nd at Darlington, NASCAR's oldest track, last week. And here he is leading the All-Star Open in the historic Wilkesboro.
Now, the last 5 laps have been keeping an eye on that 4 car pretty closely. He was catching Bubba Wallace for 2nd, and then started to fade here in the last 2 laps.
A little bit better than him that lap. It's not over yet.
He's moving around the racetrack a lot, Kevin. Was run really high in 1 and 2. Now he's back down to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Well, this is, in practice, this is really when we saw the racetrack open up, was when you were able to run these softer tires. It really lays a lot of rubber down.
Oh, Bowman in the wall between 1 and 2. Very slow off turn 2, but now Alex Bowman back up to speed.
Yeah, I think these guys are just looking for anywhere that they can find speed. We saw Alex Bowman way up the racetrack right there, just probably jump that cushion and kind of flattens out as you get way up next to the wall that last 2 or 3 feet.
So Barry and Haley have got to go. Their only chance to make it into the All-Star race is to race their way in, while Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, and Alex Bowman are in the top 5 for the fan vote. Behind them, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece has worked his way up to 8th, and on the standard or primary, Austin Dillon is 9th.
Starting to see a lot of these cars starting to fall off into the 19-second bracket now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Kevin. And that's what
3 laps to go, and the gap for that final transfer spot is about 0.7 of a second difference between Wallace in 2nd, Josh Berry in 3rd. Ty Gibbs continues to lead as he's led every lap of the Open so far. 2 laps to go at the line for Gibbs. 2 very short laps away from victory for him in the Open. Berry continues to dig. Still about a 5-car length difference between the 23 and the 4, so definitely not enough for Berry to get to the back bumper. And he's been very consistent with the outside, while Wallace has pretty much been running the bottom most of the way around this racetrack. Now Wallace goes up to the outside through 1 and 2 on the final lap. Ty Gibbs works his way off turn 4. He will win the All-Star Open. And in 2nd place still is going to be Bubba Wallace. So Ty Gibbs and Bubba Wallace have raced their way into the All-Star Open. And we'll have to listen in to see who has won the fan vote.
Ty Gibbs races his way in for the second straight year.
Look at this. Got some news for you. All-Star fan vote winner, Noah Gregson. All right, you Noah. Spoiler the boys on the book, you guys. Yeah, the board got together. Well, buddy, got some good news for you. You got a hell of a fan base. Oh, yeah, I appreciate all the fans. You guys are badass. We didn't quite have what it took there in that race, but you fans pulled through. Your support means everything. NASCAR House here in North Wilkesboro. Really fun racetrack. Really enjoying it. Appreciate all the fans. Appreciate track. We're going to go have some fun. Well, tell me about it, buddy. Tell me about the racetrack. What do you think about the repaint, the job they did there, grip level on this racetrack? What did you learn there that you can apply to this all-star race? Yeah, I definitely think there's now differences between the hard tires and soft tires. Soft tires are pretty fun. Seemed like there's some covers and goers. Guys kind of faded off. Some guys got better. A lot of passing out there. This is a wide racetrack with these soft tires. They really allowed us to move the groove up. You know, guys up against the outside wall at turn one, all the way to the bottom. Guys tipped it. Some guys running fourth gear only. It's one heck of a racetrack. This repaint is really fun, and thanks to Goodyear as well and NASCAR for the opportunity to put different sets of tires on and move around. It's been great so far. We're going to go try and race for $1 million. Appreciate all the fans. All right, buddy. Congratulations, and enjoy your night. Good luck. Sorry, thank you.
Well, Bubba Wallace and Ty Gibbs share a laugh. They are going to race in the All-Star race tonight. Stuart Haas had 4 of their cars in the Open, and they finished 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th with Gregson advancing on the fan vote. Regan?
Well, Mike, it's all smiles down here for Ty Gibbs tonight. A year ago, you transferred through by finishing 2nd in the All-Star Open. This year, you'll win it, and it was won in dominant fashion. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, we were pretty good. I feel like we were pretty solid, so it's good to make it, and good to see Bubba make it too. So hopefully, go in and win it. I think Waltrip did it once, so it'd be cool to go win $1 million. Go buy some sprint cars or something.
It's out there on both types of tires, both the option tire and the primary tire. Did you learn what you need to learn to maybe take it to him? You finished 9th last year, get 8 more spots better this year?
Yeah, I think we're solid enough and good enough to go do that. So I feel like we learned a lot with what we're going to do. So thank you to Monster Energy, Mitch Covington, everybody in Interstate Matters Norm. So I got some good friends here, and let's go win this thing.
Ty Gibbs will race in the All-Star race in a little bit, Jamie.
And Bubba Wallace does the same. He finishes 2nd here. That means he'll be racing in the All-Star race. So much time and effort, Bubba, goes into making the All-Star race. What's it like knowing you're not guaranteed and you had to race hard there to make it?
Yeah, well, we've seen the rules change, Jamie. It was like, hey, top guys usually made it. So it just made us work extra hard. So appreciate everybody in this all-true Toyota Camry, everybody back at Airspeed. You know, you have to earn every ride of this, all right? So I can't say we deserve to. I guess we deserve to be an all-star, but we got to go fight for it every once in a while. But we're just lacking a little bit. Definitely different feel than what we had in practice. So got a little bit of time to make minimal changes to make it better. But all in all, we're in the show. Appreciate the 48, the 4 running clean there. You know, that was fun. That was track stuff right there. So we were able to squeeze away there and hang on a second. But it's the most stressful spot to be in. You know, you never want to look up in the mirror. And you know how good Josh is on short track, so it's like, hey, I did some short track stuff too, so I think I got a little bit figured out, but we were able to hang on and have a good day so far.
All right, so that was like a 100-lap practice for you. Now you get to take all that knowledge into the All-Star race. So what'd you learn, and what did you tell your teammate Tyler Reddick when he just came out?
Yeah, the balance migration was different. Caught both me and him when I told him by surprise, so need to have a quick debrief with the team. See if we can get the right rear underneath us a little bit more, but nonetheless, I thought the tires, I don't know how the back of the pack looked like from our spot, but I know I was fighting it. So hope there was passing, and hopefully it was a good show for tonight. But we got to make some changes if we want to win $1 million.
All right, last year you finished 2nd. Get one spot better tonight?
We came from the back last year, so let's do it again.
There you go. Got to put on a show. That's Bubba Wallace. Finally.
Well, 4 times. There's Woody Barker's crew chief. 4 times a driver has won the All-Star race after transferring out of the Open. So Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Noah Gregson.
Well, there you have it. Again, Ty Gibbs wins the All-Star Open. Bubba Wallace, 2nd, getting the final transfer spot by racing in. And Noah Gregson is the fan vote winner for the 2nd consecutive year. That is going to conclude our stream. Total stats on this one, pretty straightforward. Only 2 cautions, 1 for incident. That was the Austin Cindric wreck. As a result of that, he still finished this race. He got back on the track, ran some laps late, but finished 18 laps down. So no DNFs in the Open. 100 laps led for the pole sitter Ty Gibbs in this 100 lap Open. 37 minutes, 58 seconds total time from green flag to checkered flag. 97.15 mile per hour average speed. Margin of victory for Gibbs, 1.5 seconds, and the margin for the final transfer spot was about a half a second between Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry. Your finishing order outside of that, Ty Gibbs with the win, Bubba Wallace second, Josh Berry third, Justin Haley fourth, Noah Gragson fifth, Alex Bowman sixth, Chase Briscoe seventh, Ryan Preece eighth, Austin Dillon ninth, Carson Hocevar 10th. Kaz Gralla 11th, Corey LaJoie 12th, Harrison Burton 13th, John Hunter Nemechek 14th, Todd Gilliland 15th, 16th for Daniel Hemrick, Zane Smith in 17th, 18th for Eric Jones, Timmy Hill 19th, and Austin Cindric in 20th. So again, that is the All-Star Open finishing order. Again, congrats to Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, and Noah Gragson for advancing into the All-Star race. They'll be starting at the tail end of the field in 18th, 19th, and 20th of the 20 cars running the All-Star race later tonight. I will see you guys again. We will have the end of this stream coming. Separate stream for the All-Star race. That will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time later tonight. So again, 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, about an hour and a half from now, we'll be live again. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.